Hey everyone, welcome to Hockey SKATEDOWN. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe with the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much. Let's get started. I want to do a video on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Since their exit in the play-in rounds, a lot of fans have been talking about them on social media, and a lot of fans are talking bad about, wanting this person gone, Dubas gone, and I totally understand. I understand how fans feel. I've been through this many a times, and I want to talk about a lot of stuff that's been going around social media. A lot of rumors going around with certain players. Dubas talking out on on their exit interviews, and what certain players have said, and what I've noticed from the games going forward, and who really stood out to me. So I want to talk about a couple of different things. So stay with me till the end. First, I want to talk about Freddie Andersen. He's one of those players that a lot of fans have said that they want out. He doesn't show up in big games, loses a lot of elimination games. But Don Cherry did post an interesting tweet, and his tweet said, "So it's Andersen's fault, eh? In 5 games, .934 save percentage, 1.84 GAA, 1 shutout, and as usual, second in shots faced. Leafs got shut out twice, and in 5 games get 3 5-on-5 goals." And he hashtag not Andersen's fault. And I believe that he played relatively well. I know he gave up a couple of faulty goals in that last game, but the team could have put forth a better effort offensively. When you have a top line with Matthews, Tavares, and Marner, you expect them to score some goals, and it didn't happen. But going against the Columbus team, you know exactly how they were going to play. It was a fun series to watch, and I really do think that Toronto learned something going forward in playing this series, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But there are whispers within the organization that the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Toronto Maple Leafs are working on a 1-for-1 deal between Freddie Andersen and Matt Murray, per Nick Kypreos. So we'll see if any of this comes to light soon. Matthews thought, after a lot of his exit interviews, he was talking a lot, and he said that his thoughts on the Leafs season, having a good regular season isn't cutting it anymore. We have to figure out the playoffs. 4 years in a row, it's a little bit embarrassing. So that's what he says. And you saw an elevation in this playing series with Matthews. You saw he played with a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more feistiness, scoring some big goals, and you want that. You want that step in Matthews' game. You want him to feel that, like, fuck it, I've had enough. I'm coming in next year with a mission, and I want everybody with me on this, and that's how he's got to be with this. Going to Morgan Rielly, I like the way you saw him on the bench, really frustrated, breaking his stick, but then you saw around him people looking at him while he's doing that, and kind of like, not caring, having that face where they're just burying their face, comfort him, console him, we'll get better, we're going to do it next year, don't worry about it, give him that little tap. Some of these players, they just show no emotion with this stuff, and it's been like this all year. You saw even Ray Ferraro doing a game between the benches and the glass, and he said that, Toronto just played a game like it was pickup hockey, do their shifts, go back on the bench, and just not do anything, and it resonates with some of these players, and hopefully they weed out some of these players and bring in some key pieces that they need going forward. And I'll get to that a little bit later as well. Spezza, he came out and said, "I know I'm not the player I once was, but I do feel like I can help a bit. I really hope to be back next year. Love the chance to come back with this group." And, Spezza, I like him as a player. I really do. He has a wealth of experience. He's been on long runs with Ottawa and with Dallas as well. So he knows how to play when it comes playoff time. And I hope they bring him back. He's a cost-efficient contract that could help this team out. And, with the Leafs cap situation and the way we have a flat cap for the next couple of years with $81.5 million, I do believe they'll bring him back on the cheap. Dubas was talking a lot about Marner because there's a lot of trade rumors going around about Marner. And he put that to bed, basically saying, with regards to moving Marner, it's not going to happen. And that was his exact words, how he said it. And, with this, I kind of, I like how he talked well about Marner. I'll get to exactly what he said now. But the thing is with GMs, you got to leave these players with some sort of uncertainty with what's going to happen with their future. You know he's signed in, you know he's got his contract that he's got, but give him a little something to think about in the offseason where, like, shit, maybe they will trade me. Maybe my place here isn't as safe. You know, as a GM, when you keep having these players' backs, that's what happens. You got to leave it up in the air where you kind of make them keep guessing about what their next step is in this organization. And, you know, Dubas should do that with some of these players. Play that game with them. You know, be their friend, be their mentor, be their, you know, be what you have to be as far as a GM. But also keep them guessing, because you always want to keep that with these players. Have them always concerned about what can happen. So Dubas went to say about Marner, I don't get the criticism one bit. I really struggle with it. He's a guy that plays his ass off every night, got tremendous skill, tremendous intensity, plays every situation for us, makes a ton of plays, and everything he does wrong, people jump all over him. I don't know how or why it's that way. And you know why it's that way? Because he gets paid so much money and he's a hometown kid. That's why. You know, everybody knows he's got tremendous skill. But the thing is that with his contract, everybody knows he should be burying the puck a little bit more, and he should be playing a more well-rounded game. That's the knock on him, and I'm sure Dubas knows this, but he wanted to speak very highly of him. And the cap hit. I wanted to get to that whole cap hit issue. You know, there was a very interesting thing floating around that, and I don't mean to piss off Leaf fans, but it's true. And, you know, the team knows this. They said the cap hit of the Leafs top line today, $33.53 million. And, of course, he was speaking about Matthews, Tavares, and Marner. And they said the cap hit of all forwards of the Blue Jackets, of all 11 forwards dressed of the Blue Jackets, was $34.33 million, which is a little bit more than what those three players are making from Toronto. And this is what has to happen with Toronto. They have to see what Columbus was and what they did. They were a team that played as a team. They played physical. They played for one another, and that's what's the most important thing. You know, Toronto does show it, but not how they have to do it to win a championship. They have to play for one another. They have to stick up for one another. You know, a person gets hit. Another person has to go right in his face and challenge him. You have not a lot of pushback with these players whenever, like, something happens to a smaller player and someone gets up in his face. You don't have that with this team. You know, Tavares, you see a lot. He takes a hit. He takes a lot of hits during games, and he just, like, rolls off and goes back at it. And I know he's that type of player to lead by example, but you want to see some feistiness. You want to see some emotion out of your captain, because it will resonate with the rest of these players. And the thing I really hope Toronto does this year, and I really hope Dubas does, he already says he's not going to trade the core four. And I thought, honestly, this year one of them was going to go. I really did think so. And for him to come out and say, I'm not trading Marner, I thought that was a potential. I did a video on it as well. I'll link it at the end. I thought he may do that. But then, you know, it's hard to replace that talent. You know, you thought they would trade Nylander. Nylander had a really good year. His contract could work out with a bunch of other teams, and they can get a lot of assets and cap space the other way. But Nylander had a really good year. You're going to lose a 31 goal scorer this year? He had a phenomenal year. He'll take steps. And that's what Dubas said too. These players will get better, and I do agree with that. Matthews will get better. You know, he's shown it every year. He's been getting better and better. And he will hit a certain maturity level and just get better and better. You'll see that with Marner. You'll see that with Nylander. These kids are still young. But the thing is that they need better players around them. Not better players in a sort of skill. You want to see, especially Toronto fans, you grew up with watching Wendell Clark. You grew up with watching, Gary Roberts on the team. You grew up with Darcy Tucker, with Ty Domi. I mean, not Ty Domi as much, but all those other players. They can score, they can play physical, and they can fight. But most importantly was they stuck up for their team. And that's the kind of players I hope Toronto targets this offseason. Players that can chip in offensively if needed. They play a well-rounded game as far as offensive and defensive game. But they stick up for their players, and that's the most important thing you need is. Look at what happened when the Penguins went out and got Hornqvist. When they got Hornqvist, yeah, you're getting a solid winger that can score and play that well two-way game. But you're also getting someone that can, if Malkin or if Crosby isn't having that game and they're having an off game, he'll get right in their face and be like, step it the fuck up, we need you today. You need that sort of player in this organization. You need someone to get in Matthews' face, to get in Marner's face, to get in Nylander's face. Maybe even at times get in Tavares' face. I know he's the captain, but sometimes captains need a good push too. Get in their face and say, step it the fuck up. We need you tonight. You know, maybe Toronto definitely needs players like that in this organization. I know they need better defensemen as well to come in and help out, as you're going to be losing Ceci and Barry, and you're going to need another 1B option up front, especially to work with Riley. But I hope Dubas gets that this year. They need those sort of players in this organization, and that will resonate down to their stars, and their stars will elevate their game because of that. So hopefully Dubas does that this offseason. Comment below what you think about this video, about everything I said in it, and what you would like to see added this offseason. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Smash that like button, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join the hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Have a great day tomorrow. Take it easy.